Hello, Times Cryptic, let's go. Disappear having run out of polish. Nope. Ambassador travels by horse around British Isles. I think this is Hebrides. So ambassador is HE, short for His Excellency, which is how you address an ambassador. Travels by horse is rides. Around British, around B, the abbreviation for British. That gives Hebrides, which are islands or isles off the coast of Britain. ID, or is that 10? Made, or possibly 1D, made KP nuts, a canned product. Okay, so nuts looks like an anagram indicator, but we're looking for 14 letters. I'm going to come back to this because canned could also be an anagram indicator, and it's not clear what the anagram fodder is. Managed Oscar famously said to have lost control. Wow, I wonder if this is run or ran amok. Managed could be run or ran, but I'm not getting the rest. Ed's third hit stirred up gossip. Not in a good way. Nope. Birdies pars eagles, going round few, and far between. Well, few and far between could be scarce, but I'm not getting the word play. Such deception, Harry Lime enraged. Again, we have a situation or a word which looks like an anagram indicator, but Harry and Lime are only 9 letters, and we're looking for 11. Music from eastern half of US state. So, well, we could be looking for a 6-letter US state and the right hand 3 letters, which forms a form of music, or this could be emo, for example, a type of music. Eastern is E, and then half of US state. Is there a 4-letter state beginning or ending MO? I don't think so. So, let me withdraw that. Torment, Scotsman bored by island hotel. So, what is this? Scotsman is often Ian, and bored suggests that Ian goes outside of, and then island hotel. Island could be I or IS, hotel could be H. Yeah, this is anguish, so it's not Ian, it's Angus who's the Scotsman. So Angus bored by island I, and then hotel is at the end. That gives anguish, which means torment. Writer almost published following potential difference. Nope. Grenoble regularly calling wanting Victor's GPS coordinates. Wow. What is this? Regularly often indicates every other letter. So every other letter of Grenoble beginning with G is GEOL. So that's Grenoble regularly. Calling. Yeah, I think calling is vocation. Wanting or lacking Victor. Well, Victor is V in the NATO phonetic alphabet. So we've got every other letter of Grenoble followed by vocation without its V. That gives geolocation, which is GPS coordinates. Now, I in last place looks most helpful. Boy wonder exposed witchcraft. Yeah, this is OB. So the boy wonder is Robin, as in Batman and Robin. Exposed means without its outer letters. So without R and N, that leaves OB, which is witchcraft. Sailor on the way overseas. This is abroad. So sailor is AB, short for able-bodied seaman. On the way, on the road. That gives abroad, which means overseas. Mistake to entertain listener. Not keen on the stock market. This is bearish. So, mistake is bish. To entertain or include listener, ear. And that gives bearish, which means not keen on the stock market, as opposed to bullish. Exciting Sudanese stage performer. This is danseurs. So exciting is an anagram indicator for Sudanese. That gives danseurs, which is a lady danseur. I'm not sure if this is anything other than a dancer, but it's certainly a stage performer. In Scotland, he's paid to find the net and secure the game. No. Now, 2 H's in 9 down. The hopeless PM failing to contain the onset of inner demon. Well, Mephistopheles is a demon, which fits the letter pattern, so surely correct. Failing looks like an anagram indicator for the hopeless PM, which is 13 letters. To contain the onset of inner, to contain the initial letter of inner, which gives Mephistopheles, which means demon. But is this really an anagram of the hopeless PM? By I would say yes, and we've got a lot of letters for corroboration. Timid girl told fibs about retired vicar. So told fibs is going to be lied. So I think we're looking for a word which means timid. And then girl, possibly 2 letters. Told fibs, lied about retired vicar, about a word for vicar reversed. So if lied begins with this L, well, we'd be looking for, well, I think the answer is lily-livered, so let's see how the wordplay works. So lily-livered means timid. Let me spell this correctly. Girl is Lily, a girl's name. Told lies is lied. About retired vicar, about rev reversed. Pack animal. I think this is ram, double definition. I think ram can mean pack, and it is an animal, a male sheep. Paint, stiffly formal, English king. This is primer. So primer is a type of paint. Stiffly formal is prim. English is E, the abbreviation, and king is R, short for Rex, Latin for king. Leader of archers put on his equipment, trembling. This is a quiver. So leader of archers is the initial letter of archers. Put on, or above, his equipment. Well, a quiver is another word for what you keep your arrows in, or is the name for what you keep your arrows in. That gives a quiver, which means trembling. Flash cravat sported by peacekeeping forces. Peacekeeping force, policeman. The peacekeeping force is almost always the United Nations, UN. but I'm not getting the rest of that. English monarch supporting dying cause. No. One more letter and 18 down. In Scotland, he's paid to find the net and secure the game. I think this could be Gilly. So, a Gilly is somebody who works on Scottish, well, hunting or shooting or fishing grounds. I'm not quite sure what their role is, but I think they're a servant type person to assist the shooters. So in Scotland, he's paid to find the net. That could be the definition. Well, the whole, I think this could be, I think this is a cryptic definition. So whereas normally you have wordplay and definition, I think in this type of clue, it's entirely definition, but it's a misleading one. When you see net and game, you're thinking of a sport like football. But actually, I think you're talking about fishing net or a hunting net, and game as in the quarry of the hunter. But I'm confident this answer is correct, and G looks helpful. Mass churchgoers, for example, going around African capital. Wow, I thought Ouagadougou might fit, but it doesn't. I think I'm going to need a few more letters in that. So, where to now? I think I've looked at all the acrosses. Let me look at the downs I haven't looked at. After heading off, hitch, horse. So, I think we're looking for a 4-letter word for hitch, remove its first letter, and we're left with a horse. So a 3-letter horse. Yeah, this is nag. So a hitch is a snag. Without its first letter is nag, which is a horse. Mass rally begins with it. No. One down, which we don't have. Made KP nuts. A canned product. Now, one down has got 8 letters, and made KP is 6 letters, so that does give us the 14 letters of anagram fodder. And we're looking for a canned product, which contains made KP and at least a further A. Well, could this be evaporated milk? That comes in cans. Does it contain made KP? Yes, it does. Ooh, and if I could work out the remaining letters, that would certainly help with one down. Writer. Almost published, following potential difference. So it's all of the letters in 5 down, apart from made KP. So, VOR, A, that's Vora, TE, Vora, TEIL, Vora, TEIL. And it's going to be an author's name. Violator. Almost published, following potential difference. Oh, I thought that was going to yield. Vora, TEIL. That is violator. No, not getting it. Nag is new, so let me revisit 1 and 10. Disappear, having run out of polish. This is vanish. So to vanish is to disappear. Having run out of polish. Yeah, polish is varnish. Run is R, the cricketing abbreviation. So varnish without R is vanish, which means disappear. So violator does fit one down, but a violator certainly isn't a writer. So 10 across. Such deception. So I think this could be legerdemain. That's deception. Harry. The anagram indicator is Harry, and then the anagram fodder is lime, enraged, and that does look about right. Voltaire is the writer, and that is an anagram of violator. Great. Okay, so just 2 clues in the top left, 16 minutes down. Mass rally begins with it. Wow. Mass is a form of service in the church, but does rally begin with a service? Yes, it does, in tennis. Fantastic. Now 15 across. Source of food for which we have to thank Providence. So this is a Rhode Island hen. So a Rhode Island hen is a type of chicken, hence a source of food, and Providence is the state capital of the state of Rhode Island in America. So this is another misleading definition. Usually when you thank Providence, you're thanking the universe for smiling on you. But in this case, we're meant to read the clue as referring specifically to the capital of Rhode Island. Now, does D help with 6 down? Managed. That still could be ran or run. Oscar, probably O, because Oscar is O in the NATO phonetic alphabet. But possibly not. How many O something something D words are there? Famously said. Oh, yes. So this is run wild. So managed is run. Oscar famously said. Well, Oscar Wilde is a famous Oscar, and said is a homophone indicator. So Oscar Wilde has surname spelt W-I-L-D-E, and that sounds like wild in the answer. That gives run wild, which means to have lost control. Now, is it really run wild or ran wild? Let me just see where the wordplay ends. Famously said. So the definition is to have lost control, and to have could be a linking phrase between definition and wordplay, rather than being part of the definition. To have lost control. Okay, let's supposing it's a linking phrase. Does lost control mean run wild or ran wild? Ran wild is past tense. And lost is past tense. But if to have is part of the definition, to have is present tense. So if to have is part of the definition, it's run wild. If to have is a linking phrase, then it's ran wild. I'm going to revisit this at the end and see which answer I prefer. Really unsure on that. Polar Explorer injected with constant drugs. No. Ed's third hit. So I think we're meant to think of Ed, the singer, Strachan, something like that. It's not Strachan, I know. Ed. I'm sure it begins with S. Ed Sheeran. That's it. Well, I don't know any of his records, so I certainly don't know his third hit. Or Stirred Up could be an anagram indicator for Ed's third hit. That's 11 letters. We're looking for 11 letters. So gossip not in a good way is the definition. Dish the dirt. Fantastic. No need for any pop music knowledge. Music from eastern half of US state. Great, so we are looking for a 6-letter US state rather than a 4-letter one. The eastern half is the right-hand half. So a 6-letter Florida state. Yeah, is Alaska, and its right-hand side is ska, which is a type of music. So, closing in fact, the grid is now cut into two. Let me address the smaller segment first. Birdies. Pars, eagles. Going around. Few and far between. So scarce does fit. That would place a C here. Polar Explorer is oats. Injected with constant. Yeah, pi is a constant. It's a number, 3.14, and so on. So oats injected with pi gives opiates, which are drugs. So great, this isn't scarce, but it could be sparse. So, birdies. Oh, and this is a hidden clue. Going around is the hidden indicator, and in the middle of birdies, pars, and eagles, beginning with the S of birdies, we can read sparse, which means few and far between. Now let me pause and do my brief typo squiz. Make sure everything in is as intended. Oh, look at this. This is an error. It's not Rhode Island hen. It's Rhode Island red. Wow. That is the name of a type of hen, but it's definitely Rhode Island red. So, glad I caught this one. So there's going to be a couple of traps in this puzzle. There's that one, and there's also the run stroke ran wild. All of the crosses now look as intended. Downs looking okay. Yeah, okay, so just 3 clues to go, including one 14-letter clue. Mass. Churchgoers. Gosh, I thought congregation might fit. Conglomeration. I think this is going to be the answer. So conglomeration means mass. Churchgoers, for example, are congregation. Going round African capital. Oh, we don't have congregation. Lomé is the capital of Togo. Yeah, so this is correct. Conglomeration does mean mass. Churchgoers does mean congregation. And in the middle of congregation, we've got e.g., which is Latin for example. So how we read this is mass, conglomeration, churchgoers, congregation, for example, e.g., going, as in leaving congregation. That leaves cong-ration. around African capital around Lomé. So congration around Lomé gives conglomeration. Fantastic. Now, 22 across. Flash. Well, a flash is a mo, as in a moment. Cravat is a tie. Supported or sported by peacekeeping force. So a cravat sported by a peacekeeping force could be a United Nations tie or a UN tie. That gives Mountie, which is a policeman in Canada. So one clue to go and one clue to revisit. English monarch, supported, dying, cause. So I think this is engender. English is ENG, the abbreviation. Monarch is ER, short for Elizabeth Regina. Supporting dying, supporting or underneath, end. That gives engender, which is a cause. So 6 down to go, or to explain rather. Managed. Ran and run are both past tenses. Run can be a present tense. But can run be a past tense? Managed. I don't think so. I think run is the present tense, ran is the past tense. He managed the business, she managed the business, she ran the business, not she run the business. Okay, so I think that sorts out that possible ambiguity. And there we go, every clue solved, every clue explained, no empty squares. Submit, submit, hope and pray. Oh, phew, I was just about to feel the stab of a number 1 or 2, but ran wild is correct, so really grateful for dwelling on that and making the late change. But what a beautiful puzzle, absolutely fantastic stuff, and some beautiful clues. Great to see Rhode Island red and Lomé popping up in the middle of conglomeration, so fairly obscure capital city knowledge does occasionally pop up in the Times crossword, and just beautiful clues overall. Now, just for your information, the crossword I solve is almost always the puzzle which comes out on a Monday in the Times, which is the easiest day of the week, although the level of difficulty does vary. The average Times crossword has a snitch rating of 100. Occasionally the Monday puzzle exceeds 100, but usually it's significantly below. And sometimes the snitches increase just because there are 1 or 2 tricky clues. So if people throw in Run Wild or Rhode Island Hen, then that can boost the snitch in a way which doesn't reflect an overall level of difficulty. So just with that health warning in mind, I would say the snitch for this puzzle is probably in the 70s or 80s. Anyway, as I say, I do solve the puzzle on a Monday, so if you want to have a go at solving the puzzle before watching the video, do have a go on Monday or sometime between the Monday and the following Saturday when this video is released. But I hope you all enjoyed watching this solve. Like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.